Alright, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Wenlin. It's a pleasure to guide you through this session, which is a somatic yoga session. So for today's yoga session, it will be practiced close to the ground, and no worries if you're new to somatic yoga. I will be introducing a little bit about the principles of the practice, and it will mostly be, as you can see, a floor-based practice. So please have a yoga mat or a comfortable padded surface so that you can lay on. This could be a towel or blanket, anything that is not slippery. And if, for example, any of the kneeling positions might cause pain to your knee, to your shins or your ankles, it is also helpful to have, say, a rolled blanket or some cushions nearby, and later on I can show you how you can begin to use them as well. So have them handy. So I'll give you a quick look of what some aids might look like. So you could have, for example, a blanket. You could also have some cushions that will help you in a kneeling position. Right, I'll place the blanket aside for a moment. So right now I have these cushions. So this session will take approximately 30 minutes. If you missed the first part, pleasure to meet you. My name is Wenlin. I'm a virtual yoga and meditation instructor, and I've been teaching for over 5 years now. So with respect to today's session, it is a slow somatic yoga session that's focused on stress reduction. So for today's 30-minute sessions, we'll be looking at using some of the breath techniques, the movement techniques from yoga, and also principles from Dr. Thomas Hanna, who created the somatic exercises, some of the different area and principles behind somatic exercises, and we'll be incorporating that in towards the movement of yoga. Right, so what is somatic yoga? If you missed last week's session, Soma is the Greek word for your body. Right, and this means, right, somatic yoga is to practice yoga in an embodied way. This means that for today, the whole of today's session, and for next week and the week after, I'd like to invite you to feel the pose from inside, and it is more about how you feel in the movement, in the pose, rather than how you look from the outside. And with respect to somatic yoga, the focus is a lot on how you come out of the pose. Because when you release the contraction in a certain pose, what we're doing is we're informing the muscles in our body, we're informing the Golgi tendon organs that it is safe to release. So if you have hypercontracted shoulder muscle, back muscles, what we'll do is we actually put them in the contraction and then slowly and gently and gracefully release that contraction. And that is what allows the muscle to come back to its original length. Okay, so enough of me talking, let's get moving. First, I invite you to come into a comfortable seated position. Right, if you notice when you come into a comfortable seated position as such, if your knees are quite a lot higher than where your hips are, so we'll come back to this pose at the end, right? It might be helpful, for example, to sit on a cushion. You can use one of these. You can fold it up even more so that it elevates, right, your sit bone, so you just come up a little bit higher and it allows the knees to drop down a tiny bit. If you have a meditation cushion or thick book or yoga block, they will do just fine as well. And we'll take a few breaths here. We begin with a body scan. So I invite you to begin to close your eyes. Palms facing up if you'd like to receive, right? Open up to receiving and sharing your energy. Palms face down if you're feeling more introspective and you're more focused on conserving, right? Tuning in. So whatever feels right for you today. And as you come into this position, just notice how you feel. Perhaps it is midday for you, maybe it's towards the end of the day and you've been sitting for quite a long while. Invite your spine to begin to move and sway forward and backward. And notice what is happening as you sway forward. This is called flexion. So you close the distance between your chest and your belly. Right, that's contraction. As you sway back, your back muscles are contracting. Right, front and back, front and back. And then slowly let your spine sway left and right, left and right. Maybe shifting the weight between your left and right sit bone, and notice what is happening as you sway. Right, your side muscles, right? Your obliques, The muscles that wrap around the sides of your waist, they're contracting as you sway. And now I invite you to rest your spine right in the center, neither leaning in to the future nor falling back into the past, and neither being torn towards the left or the right, right? What other people are telling you, what other people are expecting of you, right? Just find your center, find your footing. And visualizing the two sit bones, right, that are underneath your pelvis, right? Your two buttocks, right? Usually when you drive or when you sit, can you feel those 2 points? And as you exhale, I invite you to sigh out, right? Sound as you need it, right? If this is a safe space that you are practicing in, let the sound come out. 2 more times like this. As you exhale, let that go and let the weight release through your sit bones. One last time like this. Breathe in and exhale. As you do this, you're relaxing your jaw, your mouth, your neck as well. And starting in this seated position, begin to visualize that you're scanning through your body from the base of your spine, base of your feet in contact with the ground, all the way towards the crown of your head. Like an X-ray. Very systematically moving inch by inch, noticing areas of tension and relaxation in your body. A few more breaths as such. Slowly let your X-ray move all the way towards your chest, upwards towards your neck, your shoulders, your mouth, nose, your eyes, all the way, completing at the crown of your head. Taking your time to notice the results of your scan. Which areas feel more open and which areas feel more closed. Notice which areas might store any tension or stress in your body. Right? And pay attention to them and take more care as we move through those areas today. Slowly and gently begin to open your eyes. Right? Okay. So we'll come into a kneeling position. If this is not comfortable for you, I'm going to show you some variations on how you can make it a little bit more comfortable. So for some of us, when we come into a kneeling position, it may not be comfortable for the shins or for the ankles or even for the knees. Right? You can use a cushion, you can use a padded blanket underneath your knees if this is what's hurting you. It could go under, for example, your shins. And it could also roll underneath your ankles, whatever feels best for you. So I'm just going to lay mine right underneath my shins, close to where the ankles are, and this will give me a little bit more support. So same kind of position here as you sit in a kneeling position. We're going to take a couple of breaths here and focus on the first movement, right? And the first movement is the breath. Because when we breathe, what's happening is the chest is actually expanding. And we're going to work on a breath technique that's called 4-part breathing or square breath samavriti. Right? We won't be here for too long, but if at any point of time this kneeling gets too intense, feel free to come back into a cross-legged position. So for some of us, this is a good position to stay in because you're also lengthening your quadricep muscles here on the top. Right? Okay. So what we'll do is we'll begin to draw a square with the breath. We'll inhale for the count of 4, hold at the top for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, and then hold on empty for the count of 4. Right? Ready? Okay, normal inhale, normal exhale. One more time for normal inhale, normal exhale. And now we'll inhale for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last set. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold on empty. 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue drawing a square with your breath at your own pace for at least 2 more rounds. The end of your 2 rounds, gently allow your breathing to come back into its natural rhythm. So this breath technique, Samagriti, is a great one to regulate your nervous system so that you help to transition your nervous system more into its parasympathetic, calming, soothing, rest and digest, right? So that you can recuperate. So whenever you feel stressed, this is a nice technique to use. Right, so if you're still kneeling, come and join me. We'll release from this kneeling position. Right? And then come back into this cross-legged seated position. Right, now you might notice some tension right in your legs. We're going to come into a couple of different movements for your spine. Begin by placing your palms by the sides, about 1 palm distance, a little bit more, towards the sides of where your pelvis is. Right, root through your left palm. Feel the sit bones ground. As you inhale, you're going to visualize that you will lift your right arm, this one, your right arm, up and rainbow, forming a arch over towards your left side. So visualizing this first. So this is another characteristic of Somatic Yoga. We visualize the movement patterns first to prepare an actual path for your body to take, so that when you actually move, your body is more prepared. This is the same kind of visualization that athletes use to prepare for competitions, and this serves them well. This is a mental movement pattern, so you're laying out that mental pattern in your body first. So now that you've visualized that, we're going to come into the movement. Right, inhaling, feeling your breath rise and your arm follows. And then as you exhale, you're going to arch over. And notice as you stay in this position, so most of the time you might feel the lengthening here. So in Somatic Yoga, I'm going to encourage you to focus on the contraction instead of the lengthening. So instead of this side, see if you can notice what is happening on the side that is shortening. Right? If you like, you can gently and slowly remove your palm and shift it towards the side. Right? Notice that your muscles on your left side, they are contracting. Right? They're becoming shorter as you do this movement. Okay, 1 more breath. Now I'm going to invite you to slowly and gently release the contraction. Instead of releasing the lengthening, release the contraction with no rush. And then let your spine come back to a neutral spine. Now we'll do this on the other side, okay? Rooting through your right palm, again visualizing the other side. Same movement on the other side, it might feel a little bit different. And then now that you prepared your motor plan, we'll come into the movement. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, arch over, forming a rainbow. See if you can feel that spaciousness. So we're not folding forward or arching back yet. This is really just a sideways or lateral movement here. See if you can feel in this pose there's contraction happening on your right side, and then there's lengthening around your left. Few more breaths. And then exhale slowly and gently release, let that go. Alright, so now we're going to add a little bit of flexion and extension. So flexion is folding forward as we felt just now. Extension is opening back. So same movement, rooting through your palm. And then we're going to take it towards the side once again. Focusing on the contraction. And now this time, begin to draw your chest closer towards your right knee. Notice what is happening here. You're rounding or contracting your abdominal muscles. Release that contraction, and as you inhale, arch open the spine. This is a contraction for your back as well. Your back muscles are contracting and you're opening the spine. 2 more times like this. Exhale, rounding in. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, rounding in. Inhale, opening up. We'll linger for a few breaths in this open position. Notice you might feel some sensations in your back muscles here. And then come back into a side stretch, and then release the contractions here on your side body. Let that go. Take a breath. Notice the differences between left and right. This is another characteristic of Somatic Yoga that might be different from other classes. We take time between the movements to observe the differences before and after. Sending feedback to your body, your Soma. Okay, now we'll come in towards the other side. Begin to lengthen and bring your body in towards the sideways movement. Keep the spaciousness, even though this side is contracting, you still keep that spaciousness in your body instead of collapsing downwards, right? You keep that length as well. So it's a controlled movement, right, with grace. And now as you exhale, begin to bring your chest towards this knee, right, as you round in. And then inhale, float your chest open. Maybe you look up slightly towards the sky. Exhale, round in 2 more times. Inhale, open up towards the sky. 1 last time with control and grace. Exhale, round in. Let the movement initiate from the spine rather than the shoulder and your arm. And then 1 last time, let your chest, in your waist, your hips, right, begin to open, and your arm simply follows. Take a few breaths here. And then come in towards that sideways movement. 1 more breath. Release that contraction and then let it go. Okay, so now you might feel a little bit more spacious in your shoulders. We're going to do some movements for your arms, right, and for the shoulders, because we saw a lot of tension here. Inhale, begin to spread your arms open. Let the big thumbs turn backwards. Exhale, begin to round in. Let the backs of the palms come in towards each other. Look towards your belly button. Inhale, spread your arms open. Exhale, round in slowly and gently. 1 last time. Inhale, spread the arms open. And then exhale, round in. With the next breath, come back in towards a neutral spine, opening your arms up. Bring 1 arm under, so I have my right arm under and my left arm on top. Right, I'm going to crisscross. Maybe you stay here and you begin to hug your shoulders. Notice what is happening right here, the back of your shoulder girdles, right, your shoulder blades are moving apart, and there's more contraction in the chest. Here the muscles in the front are rounding and contracting, and there might be a little bit of contraction in your abdominals here. Right here, I'm going to invite you to roll your shoulder blades back and draw them down and set them backwards. Maybe you stay here, maybe you begin to bring the backs of the forearms against each other. This is called eagle arms or Garudasana. And you lift your elbows at the height of your shoulders. Soon my face will disappear. And then maybe you also crisscross at the height of Where the palms are at the wrists, you let the palms touch. And here you can also sway left and right, shimmying your spine. Let everything be very fluid and luscious. One more breath. Okay, and then from here, inhale, begin to spread your arms open, let your chest revolve towards the sky. Notice as you do this, your back muscles are contracting. Gently release the contraction of your back muscles. Now round the spine, place the palms on top of the knees and let your head look towards your belly button, contracting your abdominal muscles, and then release, coming back in towards a neutral spine. We'll do the same with the other arm underneath. Right, inhale, spreading your arms open. And then exhale, this time my left arm comes underneath. Right, crisscross, begin to hug your shoulders, whatever is within reach. Give yourself a very nice hug here. Maybe you reach a little bit further and then you draw the shoulder blades down. Create more space between your ears and your shoulders instead of keeping them up. This is called elevation. Right, we're raising that shoulders. As you exhale, drop them down. Notice you can create space there. Right, even though we are moving the shoulder blades apart, that's protraction, a different movement. From here, maybe you stay here and this already feels like a lot for you. Maybe you move and bring the backs of the forearms against each other, and then maybe you crisscross at the height of the palms. Whatever option you're in, breathe. If you have your forearms or your palms crisscrossed, raise the elbows so they come to the height of your shoulders. You will feel a lengthening of the back of your heart, your shoulder girdle, and the contraction of the muscles that wrap around the front. One more breath. Gently and fluidly let that go. Slide your arms apart. Inhale, brightening as you open your chest. Tip your heart up towards the sky, blossoming. As you exhale, release the contraction of your back as you round the spine. Sweep your arms towards your knees. Hang on to your knees as you round the spine, looking towards your belly button. And then slowly and gently we'll let that go. I think we still have a little bit more time. Let's do something for the legs today. Okay. Alright. So we're going to come in towards a kneeling position, coming on towards the knees and tucking the toes under. So I'll show you sideways. So it looks like this first. And then from here, if you feel stable through the knees, begin to come up in towards the kneeling position. Right, from here I'll show you sideways what we'll be moving into. It will be a lunge-like position. Alright, and from here begin to shift your weight more towards your left leg. Right, both palms come towards the hips, and then with control, maybe with support of the wall or something, begin to step your right foot forward. Notice as you do this, you might already feel some sensations in your body, and this might be enough. If you don't feel anything, you want to intensify the movement, begin to press down actively through your front foot, and you might want to shift your weight forward. As you do this, notice what's happening. The muscles along your back leg, right, your quadricep muscles that wrap around the top of your back leg, they are lengthening. Right, these muscles here, the quadriceps of the front leg, they are contracting. Right, and you're engaging your glute muscles here. You can take a few breaths here. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, softening. There's also a little bit of contraction in your back muscles here, right? Because there's a tiny back bend that's happening. And then from here, if you would like, you can begin to sweep your left arm up and over, coming into a side stretch here, contracting also your side muscles. One more breath. Releasing your top arm, placing it towards the side of your waist. With control, come back into a neutral spine. And then begin to step back in towards your kneeling position. Take a breath here. We're going to move into the same set of movements on the other side. With control, I forgot to mention this on the other side. You might want to tuck your toes under if that gives you more support. Shift the weight, practicing towards one hip, and then begin to step your left foot forward. a little bit wobbly. Okay. And then once again, notice what has happened. Find that stability through your front foot. Maybe you stay here and this is enough for you. Maybe you want to lunge and begin to shift your weight, feeling that comes from your pelvis, shifting your weight forward. And then this might intensify as you contract your glute muscles here, your right glute, your right hamstring, you lengthen your right quad. Maybe you contract, feel the contraction of your muscles, your quad muscles here in the front leg, and take a few breaths here. So if you keep your spine upright, what's happening is there's also a little bit of contraction in your back muscles here. Breathe. Option to stay here again, and option to raise your right arm towards the sky and arch over towards your left, adding contraction towards your left side body and lengthening of the muscles along your right side. Releasing the contraction on your left side. With control, place your right palm back on towards your left thigh. Shift the weight so that your pelvis comes more level. And then with control, shifting, coming back in towards a kneeling position. Taking a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Let that go. Okay, now slowly and gently, we're going to come back in towards a kneeling position. And slowly finish off with a position that comes on towards the mat. So come with your feet towards the end edge of one of the corners of your mat, and then you're going to come down and lay down in a slow and controlled way. One forearm down, the other forearm down, and then let your spine, your neck, your head begin to lie down. And then take a few breaths here. You can place one palm on the heart, the other palm on the belly. Okay, so we'll come into the last set of movements. This comes from Thomas Hanna's Somatics. You can walk your feet in a little bit closer so that you feel more stable. Let the feet be about hip distance apart. What we'll do is, as you inhale, visualize you will arch your spine. Everything stays the same. It's a very, very subtle movement, right? And then as you exhale, you release that arch. And then the next 2 times we'll do it with the fingers interlaced behind the head. And as you exhale, you'll lift your head, your neck, your elbows, a little bit of the back of your shoulders, if that's within your reach, off the ground as well. Right, so let's give it a shot. As you inhale, begin to tip your pelvis forward. Notice that your pelvis is shifting. Right, the back of your waist lifts off the ground. You feel that spaciousness as your belly button floats a little bit higher. Exhale, let that go. Release the contraction in your back. We'll do this 2 more times. Now begin to interlace the fingers behind your head. So same movement. Inhale, arch the spine. This time as you arch, you might feel that your shoulders are sliding down. As you exhale, release the contraction of your back muscles. And then lift your head, your neck, your elbows off the ground. Look towards your belly button. And then slowly and gently with control, release and let go. So the release is more important than how you enter and hold the pose, because that's when you're telling your body it is okay to relax, it is okay to release and lengthen the clenched muscles that are in your body. One more time like this. Inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, release the contractions in your back muscles. And then begin to lift your head, your neck, your elbows, maybe just a tiny bit. Right, never moving beyond your comfortable range of motion. And then slowly and gently, with control, releasing and letting go. And then for the last few breaths, if you're not in a hurry, so time is up, it's about 30 minutes, right? I'll facilitate the last few moments in a reclining position. So as you begin to lengthen one leg out, the other leg out, notice how you feel in your soma, in your body. As you exhale, I invite you to release and let go even more. 2 more breaths like this. Inhaling, feeling your belly rise effortlessly. Exhaling, letting your weight begin to settle towards the earth. At the end of your 2 breaths, in whatever way feels intuitive to you, visualizing how you will come back up to a seated position. And then moving through that path so that you do come up in a seated position. So maybe you roll over to your side, maybe you lengthen your top leg out and you press through your palms as you slide up into a comfortable seated position. So we will end up, as I mentioned, back in your body scan. Taking a few breaths here. Again, you can let your spine sway front and back, and left and right, until you find your center. And then as you exhale, release, let go of that center. Also again, options to use props as you need them, always an option, never an obligation, right? Whatever feels right for you. So for me today, I'm feeling like using a few cushions to elevate my sit bone, to release any tension in my hip flexors here. And as you exhale, settling into your seated position and then visualizing and beginning, coming back to the body scan. Starting at the base of your spine, base of your feet, and letting the scan move upwards. Towards your chest, your torso, your shoulders, neck, jaw, all the way towards the crown of the head. Noticing how you feel, taking a few breaths here. Noticing what there is to notice, sensing and feeling your soma. And then very slowly bringing both palms together. Let your big thumb rest close towards your heart center, your sternum. Allow your forehead to bow down towards your heart, sending gratitude to your heart, your body. Let your mind connect and bridge that gap, that space between the two of them, and sending gratitude to everything that made it possible for you to move and to connect your body and mind today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today, right? So if you're not in a hurry, I recommend you, right? You can take as long as you need in a reclining position in Shavasana just now, as I mentioned, with your legs stretched out, just sensing your body. If that's not comfortable for you, you can lie on your stomach as well, or even on your side. So I have a couple of clients who prefer to lie on their side with a pillow underneath their head. One of them prefers to lie on the belly. So feel free to adjust and use whatever props as needed and find a comfortable, restful position if you're not in a rush, right? Okay, so we've come to the end of today's session. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment boxes and I will respond to them. Next week, I'll see you again the same time. And next week, we'll be moving through somewhat different movements, right? But also taking a somatic approach, and we'll be using the breath, we'll be using different techniques from yoga to help to relieve stress and help you sleep better. Alright, so take care and have a great week ahead.